we're looking right here at notes. We're going to go over just a little bit of a structure of how to do the quadratic formula. This should be review from Algebra 1, but that was a long time ago. So we'll make sure we'll go over this. The first equation we're going to look at is f of x equals x squared plus 4x plus 4. And we know f of x is the same thing as y, right? We should. Okay, so we're going to find the zeros, the roots, the x-intercepts. So we're going to make it equal to 0. Because we want to find out where it crosses the x-axis. Okay. Now, this is written as ax squared plus bx plus c. And we've talked a lot about that. That's in standard form, right? So what is my a value for this? Is it 1, 4, or 4? My a value is in front of what? X squared. So what's my a value here? 1. What's my b?
4.
And what's my c? Okay. So now we're going to plug it into this equation right here. Negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. And I've kind of left the structure for you so you can just fill it in. So we're going to use these, a, b, and c, and put them in where this spot set tells us to go. So first we've got negative 4, then plus or minus 4 squared, minus 4, 1 times 4, all over 2 times 1. So far, so good? So you should be able to label A, B, and C and then plug them in. And I will probably give you this equation on tests and quizzes. It'd be great if you had it memorized, but. Anybody ever have, oh, you probably didn't, guys didn't have Mr. Weathers as an Algebra 1 teacher, because he now teaches econ. But he does it to Hail to the Victors. Negative b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a, so that people memorize it. Thank you very much. Okay.
Wait, was that recorded? That was beautiful.
Yeah.
That was beautiful.
Hey, I'm so glad you were so excited about that. Okay, so now we're going to actually solve this. We just bring down the negative 4. We're going to bring, what's 4 times 4, guys? 16. And what's 4 times 1 times 4? 16, good. And what's 2 times 1? Okay, so we're going to have the same thing, except we're going to put everything together underneath. What's 16 minus 16, guys? 0. Okay. What is the square root of 0?
0.
Yeah. Okay, so we get negative 4 plus or minus 0 over 2. So that's like negative 4 over 2, and in this case, negative 4 over 2, right? Because if we add 0 to them, we still get the same answer. So what's x going to equal? Negative 4 divided by 2 is going to be? Negative 2. And there really isn't an or, because it's the same thing. How are we feeling?
Okay.
All right. I'm going to give you another one that's a little bit harder. Okay?
For the second step,
Mm-hmm.
y to be 16 minus 16.
So I did 4 squared, that gave me 16. And then I did 4 times 1 times 4, and that gave me 16. Okay, we'll do another one. We'll do at least one, if not 2 more together before I have you guys try by yourself. So we have 2x squared plus 5x plus 2. Okay, what's the a value? This equals 0, by the way. What's the a value? 2. What's the b value? Look at it again. What's the b? And the c is?
2.
Okay. What am I going to put right up here in front?
1.
Negative 5. Perfect. What goes underneath the square root in this first spot? 5 squared, because it's b squared. Minus 4 times a. What's my a value? What's my c value? And then over 2 times a. What's my a value? 2. Good. Okay. Now, I'm going to bring down my negative 5. What's 2 times 2?
4.
So I'm going to put 4 on the bottom. Now we're going to do each part of this underneath the square root time. What's 5 times 5? 25. You keep adding today, Josh. Okay. What's 4 times 2 times 2? 4 times 2 is 8. 8 times 2 is? Good. Okay. Now our next step is just to subtract underneath the square root sign. What's 25 minus 16? 25 minus 16 is? 9. Okay. So we get negative 5 plus or minus, what's the square root of 9, guys? 3 over 4. Okay. So what's negative 5 plus 3? So we get negative 2 over 4. And then what's negative 5 minus 3? Try again. 8. Good. Negative 8 over 4. So negative 2 over 4 gives me negative 1/2, or negative 8 over 4 gives me negative 2. Okay? So that was just a little bit harder because we're going to end up with 2 answers in that case. Okay. I'm going to have you, the next one is almost exactly like this one with different numbers, so I'm going to have you guys try that one on your own. Okay? Yep, and negative 2. Negative 2 over 4 is negative 1/2. The 2's on the top, right? Yeah. Okay, so I get 4x squared minus 4x minus 3 equals 0. And I want you guys to do all of this on your own right now. If you need help, let me know. Write down what's A, B, and C. Plug it in and go as far as you can. I'm just going to give you a few minutes to do this.
Yes. Oh, no, you won't. Come on.
Come on. Some of you are just playing on your phones. I'm going to cry when you guys don't pass. I'm not even playing. How are we doing?
Good.
1 more minute? 2 more minutes? Okay.
Want this to be a positive?
Yes.
Okay.
Good catch. Okay, about 1 more minute. A is what? B is? C is? So remember, this is a negative in front, so we should end up with just positive 4. We could write negative, negative makes it a positive. We're doing negative 4 squared minus 4 times negative 3 all over 2 times 4. So we get 4 plus or minus 16, plus or minus the square root of 16 minus 4 times negative 3 is a positive 48 all over 8. Miss Murphy speaking. Maybe. Yes. Yep. Bye. Maybe you're being signed out, so write yourself a little pass. Okay. So 4 times 4 is 16. Times 3 is 48, and a negative times a negative makes it the whole thing positive. So we get 4 over 16, and 48 gives me 64. Over 8. The square root of 64 is not 32.
No, I'm not saying the square root.
Oh, hold on. We get 4. What's the square root of 64?
8.
8. So we have 4. What's 4 plus 8? 12 over 8. And what's 4 minus 8? Negative 4 over 8. So because it's 4 minus 8, the 8 comes second. 4 plus 8 is 12. Why is it plus? You have 2 negatives. This negative here and this negative here. Hi, honey. Okay, so we end up with 3 over 2 or negative 1/2. If we made a silly mistake or didn't realize that that minus sign really was like a negative, we'll just fix it as we're learning how to do this. We're going to do one more because all of these, this one was probably too hard to factor, but most of the other ones you could probably factor them. You could factor this one too, I think. But the next one is not factorable, which is the whole point of using this in the first place. Do you have a question about this one before we move on?
Can you go over like the x equals or x equals?
Yeah.
I don't understand that.
This part here?
Yes.
Okay. So I went 4 plus 8 gives me 12 over 8. And then I went 4 minus 8 gives me negative 4 over 8. Okay? 12 over 8 gives me 3 over 2. Because 4 goes into 12 3 times, 4 goes into 8 2 times. You could change this into a decimal if you wanted, and you'd get 1.5. So you could just put this in your calculator. Okay? Negative 4 over 8 gives me negative 1/2. 4 is on top, 8's on the bottom. Okay? All right. Last one. Yes? From here to here? Okay. We know that 4 times 4 is 16, right? Even negative 4 times negative 4 is still positive 16, right? But now, negative 4 times negative 3 gives me a positive 48. Good? 2 times 4 gives me 8. Okay, and then we add these together, we get 64. So on. Good? Okay. All right. We've got x squared minus 2x minus 4 equals 0. So A is 1, B is negative 2, and C is negative 4. So far, so good? Okay. We're going to plug this in. So we're going to get 2 plus or minus the square root of negative 2 squared minus 4 times 1 times negative 4 all over 2 times 1. We okay? All right. So we still have this 2 in front. We know 2 times 1 is 2 and it's on the bottom. What's negative 2 times negative 2?
4.
4. What is negative 4 times 1 times negative 4?
16.
Positive 16. I'll do it again. 4 times 1 times negative 4 is negative 16, and then we have 2 negatives together. That ends up making a positive. You can think of it that way too. This negative right here, this negative right here, and this negative right here make it positive. Okay, what is 4 plus 16? 20. Okay. What is the square root of 20? It's not a nice number, right? So we could do 5 and what? 5 and what go into it? 5 and 4. So the square root of 4 is?
2.
So 2 square root 5. Okay. What is 2 divided by 2?
1.
1. Okay. So we have 1 plus square root 5 and 1 minus square root 5 is our answer. And I'm going to go over again how I got that. I went 2 over 2 plus 2 square root 5 over 2. And then I went 2 over 2 minus 2 square root 5 over 2. 2 over 2 gives me 1. 2 over 2 gave me 1. So I just have the square root 5. We okay with that? Plus square root 5 and 1 minus square root 5. 2 divided by 2 gives me 1. 2 square root 5 over 2 gives me square root 5. And I'm doing the same way with minus because that plus or minus sign right there. So I have to do both. Okay, you have homework, which is these 4 problems. Okay, I didn't leave the structure there for you because it didn't fit. So you can do it. Now, I have shown you a different way up here. This is just breaking up. You can have this whole thing. You could also have negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. These are the same thing. Some people like it where the 2a is under each one. Some people hate that.
That's weird.
I don't mind either way. Miss Huff freaks out. She does not like it when the 2a is under both parts like that.
So why is
One
it
whole thing.
always going to be 4 and 2?
There's a whole proof of how this worked. I can show you at some point, but I don't really have time today of how we came across and discovered the quadratic formula. Okay? It's a little bit long. All right, I am stopping this right now.